Hi, this is a flipped lesson for the week of September 21st, and this lesson can be used for kindergarten and first grade if you are absent for our live classes. Um, you can do this project and then upload it to your Seesaw if you would like any feedback, or you can talk to me during my office hours on Mondays. So let's go. We're going to be exploring crayons today, trying crayon techniques. For this project, you're going to need different, a box of crayons or different colored crayons or old broken crayons. It's up to you. They don't have to be brand new. And you need your art sketchbook. You're going to be working along with me while I'm talking. As beginning artists, we need to discover the potential in the materials we use. Today, we're going to learn about crayons, which you may have used before. Let's look at this artwork by Buchanan. What do you notice? What more can you find in this picture? What is unusual about the way the artist drew the sky, grass, and trees? For me, she used a lot of different colors. There's strokes going in different directions, up, down, back and forth, sideways, around, and around. I want you to pause for a second and pretend to do these different brush strokes in the air. Take your hand and go up and down like you have a crown. Go side to side, diagonal, back and forth, and round, just so you can kind of feel how those directions would act if you were holding your crown and actually coloring. We're going to try and use crayons like an artist would, and we're going to learn that through this lesson, just like how Beverly Buchanan drew the Monroe County house with yellow datura. Did you know that crayons were invented over 100 years ago? What do you think you would have drawn if you lived 100 years ago? I probably would have drawn the ocean and the beach without any houses or cars around, because that's probably how it looked 100 years ago. So I want you to kind of start thinking about crayons. Get one and put one out in front of you. The crayons are really simple art materials, but they have different parts to them. The top of the crayon where you write with is called the tip. And most of the time, we really like that pointy tip to the crayon. The part that you hold with your hand is called the body, and it's usually covered with a wrapper of paper that tells us the color. And then the end of the crayon is called the blunt end. If you were using the tip of the crayon, how do you think it would be used? We're going to explore that today. It's our job as beginning artists to explore and discover the potential of crayons. I'd like for you to get out your sketchbook to a clean page, and we're going to experiment with how we hold the crayon and making marks. Get your favorite color crayon, and let's get started. The first way I want you to try it is just hold it like you were writing, and I want you to make a mark on the paper. After that, I'd like for you to try to change pressure with the crayon. That means how hard you press the crayon down, going with really light pressure where you're barely touching the crayon to pressing it really hard. And you can tell that the crayon color goes from light to dark. It gets more vivid as you press harder. Now I want you to turn the crayon on its side and rub it back and forth. It gives it a light texture. And this can be considered a crayon rubbing when you do this. If as an artist, you always want to hold the paper down and with your hand you don't write with, so it keeps the paper still and it doesn't move. And then with your other hand that you do write with, you hold the crayon and make the marks. Try and do that from now on while you're making art. Let's try that pressure change again, but let's use the side of our crayon for that. So tilt your crayon on its side, and now go as light as you can and press harder and harder and harder and harder until it makes a really dark mark. The result should go from very light to very dark, and it's kind of a crayon rubbing texture this time compared to the point that we did last time. Now I want you to stand up. And when you stand up, see how that your weight changes the pressure on the crown. You can actually press harder when you're standing up. Now, anytime you want to pause this video and do this, if I'm going too fast, just pause it and work at your own pace. Now let's talk about coloring in different directions. If you just color up and down and around, that's called scribbling. As an artist, you want to think about coloring in the same direction. I'd like for you to draw a circle. And inside the circle, I'd like for you to color the whole circle from side to side. Okay, using the tip. That is coloring in one direction, side to side. Now I'd like for you to draw a square. Inside of the square, I'd like for you to color up and down using the tip. Now I'd like for you to draw a triangle, and I would like for you to color around and around. See how in each shape, the different direction you color changes how the crowns look? When you're coloring, you want to fill the whole shape up completely, but color in the same direction to avoid scribbling. Okay, now if you want to color a large area, you kind of want to do a rubbing. You want to color lightly and turn the crown on its side. You want to pick one direction and color side to side kind of lightly and fill in the whole large area. So maybe the top half of your paper, you could try coloring in on your own. You might want to pause it and do this step. Next, let's talk about blending colors. Blending is when you mix two colors together. I'd like for you to take a yellow crown and a blue crown. I want you to color with the yellow crown in a circular motion. Okay, put the yellow crown down. Now take the blue crown and color right on top of that, and color with the same light pressure in the same circular direction. What you're doing is you're blending the colors together, and you're using the tip for this. And you'll notice that it kind of makes a green color. You've blended the yellow and the blue together. Now I want you to try and do the same thing, but with the side of the crown, so it's a rubbing. Turn the yellow on its side and go back and forth lightly, side to side, and then take the blue and do the same thing on top. You can see how the two look different. All right. So I'd like for you to look at this page and try these crown techniques on your own. Practice holding the crown, using the tip, using the side of the crown, and blending colors. These are our vocabularies. Pale and vibrant. Pale means if the color is really light, like we see right here in the blue. And then vibrant's where it's getting darker at. So just in case to be clear about that. Lastly, we'll do a quick drawing. We're going to talk about how colors express feelings. Your crowns that you have there, each color represents a different feeling. If you use red, that might express anger. Blue can express depression or sadness. Green can show that you're happy. Yellow, surprised. Orange, afraid. And purple, disgusted, like you think something's gross. I'd like for you to draw a quick portrait of yourself. That's a picture of you. And write, today I feel, and use the colors to kind of show us how you feel. All right, good luck. And I can't wait to see your artwork.